Welcome back to all my subscribers and to my returning subscribers. For those that are just visiting this channel for the first time, this is Asset Channel. I want to welcome you to this channel, and I want to appeal to you that after watching, please do not hesitate to push the subscription button, the likes, and the comments. You are welcome to my channel. So we're going to be talking about what next. Now I have my visa. What's the next step? I will be talking specifically on student, about the student. So once you get your student visa, what's the next thing? Suffice me to say that you can't really say I'm in Canada until you go through the port of entry. Yeah, you can't say that, because at the port of entry, that's where your ability to get into Canada or the possibility of being repatriated stands. So you need to be prepared to answer certain questions at the port of entry. Now, what are the questions? Why do I have to answer these questions? The reason you need to answer these questions and answer them correctly is that the immigration officer or the officer that will be talking to you on that day is wanting to be sure that you are for sure coming to do what you profess to be coming to do. They want to be sure you are definitely coming to Canada to study and not to do any other thing. So you want to be acquainted with those questions. Some people don't know it's their first time, and they get very nervous when they see the immigration officers. One thing you have to know is this: the immigration officers, they are human beings like you. They are just doing their job. They are doing their job. And what is their job? To make sure that anybody coming into Canada is not coming into Canada under disguise of being a student. So they want to be sure that you are definitely coming to Canada to study. So the first question is, these very simple questions, but very tricky. They can ask you things like, what's the name of your school? We understand that sometimes it's difficult to pronounce the names of some schools. They can be difficult. So, but if you are coming to study in a certain school, even if you don't know how to pronounce it, please ask people to help you to learn how to pronounce that name, because you definitely need to know how to pronounce the name of your school before the immigration officer. You want to know that. You want to be able to say, this for sure is the name of my school. And if you are not studying in that province, because sometimes there are some provinces that don't have international airport right from your own country of originality. So, like for example, you are coming to Saskatchewan, and you want to transit from Toronto Airport. You need to be able to tell the immigration officer, I am going to Saskatchewan. That's my destination. That's my final destination. So Saskatchewan took me quite a while to practice, even with as somebody that's been in Canada for a while. Saskatchewan, the pronunciation, sometimes when I pronounce it, my kids be like, Mommy, it's not like that. So you need to learn for sure. So you also need to be able to sign yourself in, because with technology at the airport, they don't have enough people like human to be able to check you in. So they have this self-check-in system. So when you get to that self-check-in system, once you push the start button, it will prompt you on what to do. And please make sure you understand every question on that self-check-in system before you answer them. And if you don't know, you might want to ask anybody that is willing to give you to tell you or explain what that question means. I said willing because it is self-declaration questions. It's not meant for any other person. It is your question, and you should be the one actually answering the question, not any other person. But if you are not sure of what that question means, for example, you need to say yes and you want to say no, That might land you into big trouble. So you need to be double sure of the question you are clicking. And the next one is your letter of introduction. You need to have all those documents handy. Your letter of introduction, your letter of acceptance from school is another document that you need to carry with you. At the port of entry, they might ask you all those things to produce all those documents. Your school fees receipt. So when you pay your school fees, sometimes you pay like 1/4 of your school fees, or half of your school fees, or 1/3 of your school fees. The school will send a receipt. The school will send that receipt to you. You need a copy of that receipt, because some immigration officers can ask you all these things, and if you are not able to produce those things, it puts you off balance, and it also gives them the room to start probing, because it becomes suspicious that you said you have paid and you don't have the receipt. They can also ask you questions like, how long is your program? As simple as that thing. Some people, because they paid agents, right? They pay the agent to do all these things for them. They don't really put attention or pay attention into all those tiny bits. All they just want to get is their visa. I beg, get me this visa so that I can go to Canada. So you need to know how long your program is going to be. And sometimes they might want to ask you, so once you finish studying, what's your plan? What do you intend to do after you finish studying? So some people might say, oh, once I finish study, I'm just going to stay, I'm just going to look for work. You let them know, after study, I will apply for my postgraduate job, and because you are entitled to do that. And if I get my postgraduate job, once I'm done with my job, I probably go back to my country of originality, because most of us, when we come in, we have jobs back home in Nigeria, and we told the immigration officer that when we are applying, that we will be going back home. So you want to continue to go along that line. You don't want to get to the immigration office, to the port of entry, and contradict what you put, the answer you put, the conviction you convinced them when you were applying. You now go to the port of entry, you are now contradicting yourself. It raises room. It creates room for suspiciousness. Okay, so just be very careful. Those questions, as easy as they may seem, can land you back to your country of originality. Okay, so you want to also know that you need your proof of fund. I have seen somebody, this I'm talking about 2009, when I was going to the UK. Somebody was asked to go to POS, like ATM, to show them the balance of their account. Some immigration officers can be very difficult. So you don't know what questions they'll be asking you. Because of that, you have to be prepared in case of any question. Any question, be prepared for it. So you need to know all these questions, like possible questions that they may ask. And it might not be in this order. It might just take another shape, but these are the likely questions that you might be asked. Another thing is, they might ask you questions like, so where are you going to stay? What's your address? You are coming from abroad, so you don't know anybody. Some of us don't know anybody, some of us do. So if you know somebody that you are going to be staying with immediately before you get your place, then you make sure you have that person's address. You need to have that person's address. Make sure that person's address is sent to you. Make sure you get that person's address. Do not say, oh, I don't know the address, or you now start sending the address, giving them your number, your phone, to start looking at the address from your phone. No, you need to be able to show them that for sure, I know where I am going to. This is the address where I will be staying. Well, you don't have anybody. Now you are just coming on a neutral ground. Please, before you come, make sure you book at least Airbnb if it's just for 2 or 3 days, so that you will have that Airbnb address to show to them that I have paid for Airbnb because I don't have anybody around here. But once I get to the Airbnb, from there I am going to look for a place to stay. I'm going to look for accommodation to have a more permanent address. Then the other thing is, sometimes they can ask you, how did you come across this school? How did you get to know about this school? Let them know that you browsed it. You browsed it and you saw that the school is good for your course. You have researched and you saw that the prospect from this course is very lucrative, is promising, and the school environment have good things to say about the school you are going to. Do not say, oh, I don't know, I just feel like it. No, you can't just feel like it and pay all that money. So these are some of the questions that you are likely going to be asked. And just before, as a way of digression, but it's very important, when you get to the airport, please be very careful. I know that some of us, we have the tendency of saying, oh, I want to help this person. Oh, especially when we see elderly people around us, they are struggling, or some people will say, oh, can you just help me look after this thing? I want to go and use the washroom. Do not do that, because you don't know who is who. Some people may have some illicit stuff in their bag or in their luggage, and they study and see that the environment is no longer safe for them, and they ask you to hold those things. If the immigration officer gets those things from you and they scan it while you are holding it, you'll be in big trouble. So while you are trying to be nice, be very vigilant when you get to the airport. Do not let anybody leave anything to you. You are not a caretaker. If anybody say, can you look after this, my luggage, just tell the person politely, I'm so sorry, I don't feel comfortable doing that, because like, you don't even need to explain, I don't feel comfortable doing that. That's enough. And you walk away from that spot. So I hope this will help you. I hope this it has been very educative. I hope it's been informative. I hope it's going to help someone that is getting ready to come to Canada. Canada is a beautiful place, and do not just get discouraged by people saying it's very cold, it is lonely. It is just the way you see the world. The way you see the world is how you live it. Yes, it might not be as bubbling as where you are coming from, but the way you make your home in Canada, that's the way it's going to be. I don't really feel that bad or very lonely, because I have my network. When you get here, you see that networking is a very important part of living in Canada. I hope this has helped. And once again, I want to say a very big thank you to all my returning subscribers. I want to say thank you to the new ones. If you are coming for the first time, please do not hesitate to push the like button, the subscription button. And if you have any questions you want us to answer, or you have any pressing need, just put it on the comment section, and you can email me at the end of this, or at the comment section. You will see a link, you will see my email me, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you and have a good night. Bye bye.